and I'm your host as usual. Today we have our returning digital rock star, Venessa Minkley, here from 369 Collective, and she's going to be talking about what are backlinks and why are they so important. We've heard the topic backlinks a few times on other sessions, and Venessa and I thought it would be a really great opportunity to delve into this topic deeper and really understand how it affects your SEO and how it affects like your business in general. So I'm really looking forward to doing this with you, Venessa. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi there.
Hi.
No,
Kia ora.
I'm going to share my screen with everyone.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, do you want to take questions throughout, or how do you want to do that?
I don't mind, honestly. It's can you see that?
Yep.
All right, awesome. I'm happy to take questions in between throughout. So if a question is prompted by a particular piece of content, I'm happy for you to interrupt and answer that question, because often answering the question then makes the rest of the content make more sense.
Yeah, totally. I get that. If you're with us on a different platform, just remember you can use the comment section, Q&A section, and the chat function in these sessions to get your questions answered. So feel free to drop them in to those functions, and I will make sure that Venessa gets to hear them and we get your questions answered. So make these sessions work for you.
Okay, cool. So with backlinks and why they're important, it's important to understand that it's only one factor, one ranking factor that's become more and more important as Google has put more emphasis on high quality websites. And that's what I'm going to go through today. So I will talk about SEO, we'll talk about blogging, I will talk about all kinds of different things that are important that relate to backlinks, but also that you have to have a solid foundation in terms of your website first. The information is from various sources. Not all are reliable, but the ones that I've taken information from are from accurate sources. So a little bit about us, just one slide. We're basically a collective of like-minded entrepreneurs that understand small business, and we all offer a free 30-minute consultation, and we're big in terms of empowering small businesses to be able to do a range of different things to help grow their business. So before we get started on backlinks, it's very important that your website overall performance is solid. In other words, if you're following best practice, the accessibility is a lot to do with user experience. Is that flickering for you, Anna Marie?
Sorry, what did you say?
I'm just wondering if you're losing my screen sometimes.
Oh, I didn't notice, but I was just jumping over to one of the other platforms to update, get the chat open.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so things like your website speed, following best practices. Now, best practices is over 100 things. SEO, very important. And if you're sitting up in the green, you're doing really well. So you want to be ranking up in the green. And at the end, there's a resource where you can test your speed. And we can talk about that in a website audit if that's something that you want. A lot of the advice and buzzwords that go around, especially by the SaaS platforms, your Wix, your Shopify, etc., often is very specific to the platform, and a lot of it is hype, buzzwords, and exaggeration. So I do encourage people to, especially small business, to just try to ignore all that. Okay, so back in the 2010, you could get away with things like keyword stuffing. In other words, putting all your keywords on the actual website versus having to pay people for off-page SEO, which then goes into the source code, which you can't see. They also backlinks. You could just the more you had, the better, and you could buy them. You could buy them by the 1,000. But since 2010, Google has sort of put their foot down and said, look, we're tired of these black hat type of approaches, and we want a better experience for our Google searchers or our Google customers. And now, since 2010, they have been they've got a reward and punish method for ranking that covers loads of different variables, and that needs to be taken seriously. I can talk in more depth in a consultation in terms of what those factors are and what the top ones are. That is covered a little bit in the Google algorithm presentation that there is a recording on, so you can have a look at that. So what are backlinks? Backlinks are also known as an inbound or one-way links. They simply point to your website from another website. The best part of backlinks is they help promote your blog or your website content just by being hyperlinked to you from another source. That sounds pretty easy, right? But you have to make sure that the links that you have are quality links from high authority websites. And that normally means that they've been around for a long time, that they're reputable, that they are respected, and Google considers them of high authority. When we talk about high authority, we're talking 30 to 40 out of 100 as a score would be considered as a high authority. So you're better off with 10 high authority backlinks than you are with 100 or even 1,000 low authority backlinks. So backlinks and SEO. Backlinks is one of the main factors for your SEO. And a lot of this often needs to sit in your source code. Otherwise, be perceived as keyword stuffing. So the search engines use algorithms to gather the information and rank the pages, and they use bots and spiders to crawl your site for content and backlinks. They then aggregate that volume and relevance of all the pages linking to your site, which impacts your page rank. So search engine results is shortened to SERP. So if you see SERP, that's just technical talk for search engine results page ranking. The backlinks highs and lows. So when someone is conducting a search on Google, for example, the search engine uses its rankings to deliver the best possible results. When it comes to backlinks, you want to link from high ranking pages as opposed to low ranking sites. Think of it as a reference. If someone's recommending you or recommending your business, you want it from a respected source. If it's not a respected source, it can be questionable in terms of character, and that's how Google sees it. So quality backlinks that point to your website from another website. This could be a business directory specific to your business. It could be an association. It could be all kinds of things. This is really easy to test, and I can provide you with that. For SEO purposes, if you just put your website anywhere, in other words, just a business directory that's a pretty bad website that's not reputable, it can actually hurt your rankings, and Google will purposely push you down in the rankings. So I will emphasize this many times that quality versus quantity is very important. There are a lot of these websites where you can actually scan your website and you can test your website authority. And a lot of these websites will offer to sell you backlinks. In other words, they'll tell you that they can get you to the top of Google in literally a week by buying these various things. But it's very important not to buy these. It's the same with Facebook, the same with Instagram. You'll see a lot of people that have 5 posts, but they have a million followers. So these are all things that have been purchased. And if you go that route, Google considers it cheating. So how to get the right links? A blog is an amazing thing to have on your website, and you don't have to be an amazing blogger. You just have to be able to share relevant content to your business or to what's important to your audience. If you don't have a blog section, I encourage you to add one. But there are other places like Medium and Blogstack and other ones where you can you can write blogs and you can link back to your website. So that's also considered a backlink. You can also link from your website to these ones, which was then called a referring link or a backlink for instance, Medium. You can write articles, press releases, case studies, blog posts, and make sure that the content's always shareable. And don't forget infographics and images with the right titles and hyperlinks also form backlinks. Google loves fresh content. So, regularly add new blog content and guest posts, even adding reviews to your website or testimonials or case studies. Those count as fresh content and will help you with your ranking and backlinks. Stay active on social media. If you don't have a lot of time for the social media, I recommend on a Sunday afternoon, you just go to your scheduling software, and that can be done free through Facebook, and you can cross-post onto Instagram. Even if it's just one a day and just short little bites, that's fine. Long form is quite popular now, and it's getting a lot of attention and a lot of clicks. So consider mixing it up between long form and quick little short bites of information. Take advantage of quality search directories, for instance, Compass, for instance, Neighborly, those kinds of ones. And there may be ones specific to your particular industry. For instance, if you were a builder, you would look at, for instance, Master Builders Association, but it's not. And a lot of people put these little certifications or that they Master Builder registered or something like that. They put it at the bottom of their website, but what they fail to do is actually make it clickable. So if it's clickable, that's creating a referring link for you, and it's creating a backlink for the other website. So I always encourage you to hyperlink your images, and if you don't know how to do that, it's something we can help you with, and make it easy for people to share your content. Put links there, put share buttons. Even if the links are really long, use a tool like Bitly to shorten them, and because then you don't have that really long link, but it's really easy to link to. Bitly, if you use Bitly, you can create a free account, and it will also show you how many clicks. In other words, how many people actually clicked on that particular link. So that helps with your analytics. So these are different pages that you can use that are used worldwide. Some is paid, some is free. Most of them offer a free version, but this is where you can start building relationships with bloggers that content resonates with your business, or what you do in your business. Medium is great. It's a great way to be known. You can put you can copy your own blog and put the link to your own blog. It's important here not to use anybody else's information. If you use someone else's information, even if you you reference them or reference the original source, Medium is very, very strict. They will ban you for copyright infringement. There's hub pages. It's great for generated content revenue. You can actually, oh, sorry, my bad. Blogger Stack is great. Voice Media is a platform that supports discovering and rewarding creators. They all have a slightly different purpose. And so for you, I will share this presentation afterwards. You can go through each one and sort of have a look. But the standouts are your Medium, your hub page, your Substack. Patreon is a membership-based where people can actually pay to read your content. And often, if you are a writer or a copywriter or a PR agent or something like that, you can often get paid gigs from that. People will ask you to write content for their own websites. The other way to do it is to offer to guest post on other people's blogs, which that then will give you a backlink, and you can offer to do the same on your website. That then gives them a backlink. So I guess the real important thing here is to start building relationships with people that write really high quality content that have a lot of likes and a lot of followers.
So we've got a question here. Oh, they got it. Okay, cool. Just asking for a repeat on something. And Vanessa will probably you'll give me these slides, won't you? Or at least the list of the links. So I've dropped a couple in there, but there's so many. It probably would be more efficient if, we'll have a list of the links and we'll attach it underneath the video on the website as a learning summary. That'd probably be the best thing. Or maybe if you just take a quick screenshot right now, if you guys are watching and you wanted to have a look at it.
I'll make the whole presentation available, so there's no problem with it. What tool, RFs? I am getting to that, Lara.
Okay.
I will show you the tools that that you need to use. But yeah, these are great. Copy this into a Word document, into a Google Doc, and then just copy that, and then sorry, I don't know, it's been very glitchy today.
Yeah, it is actually. I didn't realize what you were saying because I was on the other page, but yeah, I can see what's happening there. But that's always the way, isn't it? I mean,
Keeps going back and forth, and it keeps I don't know what's going on. Yeah, there's various tools, and it's important to use the right ones, because a lot of the ones that offer these free scan your website, free SEO report, free this, free the next, they often are offering that so they can sell you something, and a lot of it often is things you don't want to buy, like you don't want to buy backlinks, because they wouldn't be available if they were from a high authority or a reputable business. A reputable business would never just say, yeah, sell my sell my links. It's basically been scrubbed off the internet from people that wouldn't even notice or wouldn't care. So this is what I've been talking about black hat techniques or buying backlinks. Google will almost always flag you for it, and ban you from search results. In other words, no matter how good your website has become, no matter how popular your product is, you'll become invisible. They basically put you on page 10,000 and leave you there forever. So this is one thing that I encourage you not to do. Don't put your website through all these different website analytics, and the likes of SEM Rush and some of those are good, but you've got to be very disciplined in not to sort of fall for what they're trying to sell you. And a lot the ones that I'll share with you at the end they all have a free option, and you don't need to pay. The only time you would want to pay for this kind of software is if SEO was your job, SEO optimization, because it's a really useful tool to get even more deeper into backlink analysis and so forth. And like I said, once again, it's better to have 10 high authority quality backlinks than it is to have 1,000 low authority quality. So SEO and backlinks, I'll talk about SEO a few times because the two go hand in hand. So backlinks is one of the most important elements of the SEO equation. So it's important to always factor it in when you're looking to boost your ranking and increase your domain and page authority. Now, page authority is another one that is directly linked to backlinks, and the test that I will recommend to you looks at both. So it looks at three things. It looks at the page authority, it looks at backlinks, and it looks at referring domains. So referring domains is going out, backlinks is coming in. And there is also another subject, something you might want to Google about do follow and don't follow. So do follow links, and the test will also show you that what percentage out of 100 do follow and what percentage don't. So it always shows the do follow, and you just calculate it out of 100, and you can work out the percentage of don't follow. But the do follows improve your SEO, and the do not follows they're not bad, but they also don't do you any favors. technical off-page SEO is best left to an expert. I mean, a lot of the amazing web developers that I work with that code websites from scratch, even they aren't SEO experts, and they will tell you that. You know, a lot of web developers do offer it, and you know, I guess some of them might specialize in it. But in general, if their main job is to be a web developer and code, they're not a specialist in SEO. So, you know, once you've taken care of your on-page SEO, which is something you can do yourself, and I'm happy to talk anybody through that. For anything that's off-page, in other words, you can't see, but it's also important, it's best left to SEO expert. The different things that I recommend you do, like adding your website to reputable business directories and industry directories and so forth. And some of these are on social media as well. You know, with COVID, a lot of people have try to help the small business, and they've created, you know, industry specific. It could be health, it could be coaching, it could be, you know, the building industry, it could be, and also a lot of them are segmented to, for instance, Auckland North Shore or Wellington, and that's important. So if you're a builder in Wellington, you want to be in that group. That's going to also give you a backlink, yeah? So whilst Google isn't geared up to, the algorithm in Google is not geared up for social media, the backlinks to your website make a difference. And I'll show you, my website was launched last week, and I'll show you how that looks.
Yeah, because you went through a rebrand. Loving the new colors and everything.
Yeah. So
could I ask you a question? There's a question here. It says, is referring domains different from domain authority?
Yes. So domain authority is how important or how reputable Google considers your website. Okay. Yeah. So if you're very new, I mean, I'll give you an example. When I launched my website, I had a domain authority of 7, right? And all my scores were up in the 90s, my SEO, my accessibility. So that first scores that I shared, that's my website. And that launched late last week. And that's just by following all the right principles from the very, very start. It makes your job going forward so much easier when you come off a good base. So what tool do you, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it's not the same thing, but it's related. It's not the same thing. Yeah. So like I said, when you run that test, it will show you domain authority, your score out of 100. It'll show you your referring domains. That's basically links coming out of your website. And then the backlinks is when you're linking back from another website. And that could be, like I said, it could be Neighbourly, it could be Compass, it could be industry. I've got a list that I'll show you that's important. So even if you only got 10 minutes a day, just go to some of these websites that I will provide later, and go and put your business in there. But you need to have don't just go www. You need to put the full URL in, otherwise it'll be a broken link.
Okay.
If I get to the next screen.
I know it seems like there is like quite a challenge with it keeps on jumping to your mail. I'm not sure. I wonder where that's coming from. It must be quite disconcerting. It's a bit frustrating when you're trying to do a presentation, it's jumping all over the place. So I think you're doing really well.
So this is a question on referring domain. So a referring domain is also, there's a lot of different language on the internet, but basically you've either got a referring domain so a referring domain is going out of your website to somewhere else. And a backlink is it's referring into your website. So sometimes it's called a linking domain, and it's a website that links out to another website whose backlink profile you analyze. So backlinks can get quite complicated when you actually do the test, and that's why I recommend, yes, you can run the test yourself, but it's a matter of, will you understand the data that it spits out? Yes, of course, you'll understand your score out of 100. That's pretty easy. You'll understand your do follows, your don't follows. But then at the bottom, it starts to spit out a lot of complicated information, and that's why we recommend, and that just creates overwhelm. People start feeling bad about their website. They start, oh my God, I've made such a mess of it, and that's the kind of emotions that I deal with on a daily basis when speaking to the small businesses. So it's better that we run it for you, so that we can analyze the data and tell you, what it means in very simple terms, so that, otherwise, like I said, it just creates overwhelm. Let's have a look. So if every domain in your backlink profile links out to you just once, the number of your acquired referring domains of backlinks will be equal. However, those occasions are quite rare, as normally you build a lasting relationship with a business, you'll get backlinks from their website on multiple occasions. So that means that, for instance, they'll share, a bunch of your blogs, or they will have a section in their own blog where you've written some amazing content, and they can't really write it better, and a referring link is good for them and a backlink is good for you. So they will often go, as an example, here, I often do that on social media, where I refer to the source of the information, and there will be a little bit of video at the end that you can, it will sort of summarize this, and he is a source that I often use. So talking about associations, certifications, like Master Builder, like I mentioned earlier, there could be charities that you support. There could be, there is always some kind of association, and even the local chamber of commerce, create yourself a free listing there. It's very powerful, and if you are on these reputable websites, you automatically get that same reputation. So, okay, if ABC Plumbing is on Auckland Chamber of Commerce, they must be have a high authority or be reputable, and that'll give Google the same message. Sorry, guys. So this is an answer to your question, Lara. Ahrefs is a great place to go and test. You put your full URL in there, and it'll ask you, whether you're a robot, and you just click a little thing. Sometimes the little images will come up that you've got to do. So just put that in there, and it'll show you your percentage out of 100. So the first score is your domain authority, how important Google considers your website, or how reputable. And it's comparing it to everybody else in your industry that Google perceives. So that's how you're being compared. You're not being compared just as an isolated business. You're being compared to like 1,000 other businesses in your particular industry. So the more accurate your website is in terms of keywords, in terms of services, in terms of associations, in terms of who you're linking to, who's linking back to you, those are all the things that Google is going to consider to put you in that group of 1,000 to compare against. And that's why I said in the beginning that it's very important that all the basics of your website are solid and follow are Google and SEO optimized, because you can have all these backlinks, you can have all the greatest SEO, you can have all of that, but if the foundations aren't right, it's going to make it difficult for Google to actually even rank you in there, and it'll often make this test not very accurate at all. So the first place I always look is at the website. And once I've assessed the actual website itself, I will then run these tests and then put everything into context. So whilst you can run these tests yourself, it can just cause confusion. So this tool basically pulls the data on both referring, which is our domains, and backlinks of a website. And in the overview dashboard, you'll find a whole lot of charts and graphs and analyzing referring domains. It'll actually show you all your backlinks. In other words, what's linking back to you, and it'll also show you all your links going out. So like I said, many of these tests you can run yourself, but it's understanding the results that matters, and this is why we offer to run the test for you, so we can interpret the data for you in a simple, non-technical language. So reputable and long-standing business directories is one of the very easiest way for you to create backlinks and improve your SEO. So, like I said, you need to use the full URL and not just www. Otherwise, it won't be recognized as a proper backlink. The other thing you should also do in these, if you list your business on a business directory, is you should also make sure that all your keywords, your SEO keywords that you want to be found for. In other words, someone hops on Google, and you want to be searched by organic, natural health, whatever it is, copywriter, Auckland, or web developer, Nelson. Make sure that you always put all those keywords, and all businesses should have about 6 to 10 keywords that they've identified. This is something you need to do even before you launch your website, because or rebuild or rebrand or whatever. It's not too late to do it now, but it's best to do it before, so that the content when you launch is relevant to Google, and Google understands exactly what it is you do, so that when someone searches for what you do, you will come up in that search. So if you don't have Google My Business, I recommend you get it today. And if you use Workspace, which is part of Google, so at your domain emails, if you're looking at Google Drive or you're looking at Google Docs, your Google My Business is there. It's like a little blue house icon. You can use Google My Business just like you can use social media. You can have posts on there. You can have offers. You can have images of if you've got physical premises, you can have images of your physical premises. You can have images of your products. If there's special offers, if there's a giveaway, this is a brilliant way to improve your SEO and also give you backlinks and referring links. It'll also give you analytics. So it'll show you which of your content has been the most popular, and that'll come to you in an email. So once or twice a week, if you've had a lot of views, Google will email you and say, well done, you've had 72 views on this particular post. That'll help you understand what content is working best, and then maximize that type of content. The ones that don't get a lot of views, don't duplicate that, or try to say it in a different way, or try to use a different image. But it's very much, if you know how to use Facebook, you can use Google My Business quite easily. Make sure you have your website links in there. Make sure that you are address verified. So even if you work from home, it doesn't matter. Put your home address, and Google will actually mail you a postcard. And on that postcard will be a code. And so once you receive that and you put it in, now you're seen as more reputable. So you're more likely to be shown in searches because your address has been verified. And the reason for this is that there's a lot of overseas businesses that operate in New Zealand, pretending to be in New Zealand, but they're not in New Zealand, and they're just using any old address, and they won't get address verified. And so Google considers that a low authority, or someone sort of trying to cheat the system. So yeah, if you don't have Google My Business, I recommend you get it today. Put your logo there. Put images that that relate to your business, and if it's products, you can actually put a post. You can actually add products as well. So you can post, you can have offers, and you can actually have products. So just like your website, put the product image, put the product description, and put a specific link to that actual product on your website. And that's as easy as just clicking on your product. In other words, what view you want them to see, copying the URL and just pasting it in. I can't emphasize how important Google My Business is. Yellow, you can have a free profile. Once again, be a little bit careful with yellow when it comes to websites and things like that. They're not very good. They charge quite a lot for it, but they're not good websites. But I mean, there's over 70,000 New Zealand businesses, the last we checked. And from a Google perspective, yellow is a very trusted source. And the bonus of yellow profiles is that they rank very highly in searches. Interestingly, if you Google yellow, the first thing that comes up is yellow, the music, but right under that they come up. So Neighbourly people use Neighbourly to find. So with Neighbourly, you belong to a network, which is the area that you live in, generally speaking. So you sign up and say, I'm in Waiheke. Waiheke is a region. It'll then match me with local businesses. So I can search plumber, whatever it is, and it'll be specific to, you can't be, as a personal profile, you can't be the whole of New Zealand, but as a business profile, you can create a free listing. It has a few limitations. The actual paid one is not very expensive, but a lot of my clients in the service industry have done quite well out of Neighbourly. Neighbourly also will show you your analytics. In other words, how many people have been clicking, and you can also, like Google My Business, you can put posts out, you can put special offers out, you can put, but it will only reach, if you post from your personal profile, it will only reach that geographic area that you live in, and also I think another 9 neighborhoods that are close by. So that's a really good one. Hot Frog. I mean, honestly, there's 10 of these. If you just do one a day for 10 days, you'll see when you run your tests. Hang on, I'm gonna just try get rid of it.
It's a bit, I feel so bad that you're experiencing that. While you do that, I will just let everyone know there was a question through Facebook if the presentation is going to be available. It will be. Vanessa will send it to me and we will upload it as a learning summary PDF underneath the video on the website. Generally, we get it by the end of the day and then we get it up there by tomorrow. So that will be cool. And there's a couple questions here. So I might see if we can't.
Is it in chat or?
Yeah. They're in Q&A. So there's one that says, can I do this with my computer's URLs and not my own, like I currently do with the Moz bar, M-O-Z bar? I don't have a website, but want to understand this before I do. I want it right from the outset. So.
Yeah, you can put any URL in there. So, and I recommended it actually. So look at your top competitors and see where are they getting backlinks from? Where are they, is there, I mean, that's how I do it. I put your website URL and it's not mine. But yes. So, yeah, I mean, 100% do your homework and put theirs in and see what they're doing. What are they doing so well that they are ranking higher than you, or they're being found and you're not being found. It'll also help you look at some keywords. It'll help you understand, how high they're ranking in terms of domain authority. So it'll tell you why they're ranking so high. So yeah, 100%. And would you do Google My Business before the website up? Absolutely. So the minute you come up with an idea and you're pretty solid on your idea, get Google My Business. All you need is an address to be verified, and you can use your social media links in the interim.
And by address, you mean like a URL, right? Like the domain?
No. So Google My Business will verify your physical address.
Oh, okay.
Right. So and that can be your home address. So before they were quite strict in terms of it had to be a business premises. But since COVID and everything has happened, they, as long as you can receive a postcard, and I'll tell you, it's lightning fast. Even here on Waiheke, I submitted a little side business and making natural health balms, and I think it was the Wednesday I had it in the mailbox. So it's quick. you know, and then it'll tell you what to do. So you go to Google My Business and you put the little code, it's got a little code, and you put the code in, and that verifies you. And that by being verified, your domain authority, you'll be considered to be reputable, you know, legit.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because I think some people forget that part of the process. Or if you're ever wondering if a business isn't real, like, this is a great way that people figure out, oh, is this a scam business or is it an actual business? You have to be authorized or approved by Google in order to get a Google My Business, like, to be legit there.
Well, and that's why that's why they use snail mail, because you know, if they did it digitally, it could be you know, people, they can mess with it, you know what I'm saying? So so they send you a postcard, you know, very old school, but it's the only real way to make sure that you actually get it in your own mailbox. And the nice thing about that is then when people start searching you know, plumber, electrician, Auckland, Wellington, or even down to suburb, you know, be it Albany or be it Greenhithe on the North Shore, you know, it'll show the map and it'll actually show you where you are. And it'll also, so I don't know, you must have searched on your phone before for an address that you need to go to that you don't know how to get there. And it'll show you, it'll drop down on Google My Business and it'll go directions. Now, if you're not address verified and you don't have an address, you can't click on directions and automatically open your GPS. So everything online is the easier you make it and the quicker you allow people to do things, both on your website and both in finding you, the more likely they're going to do it. So the more difficult you make it, so there's no directions, and now you've got to actually put the address in. Now you've got to copy and paste it. Oh, they go, I'll find another one, you know. So Neighbourly is really great. You can post on there regularly as well. A very community spirited, and very small business, very pro small business and supporting the local. So join it as you know, personally for your neighbourhood, and then you can also, even on your personal profile, you can share your business. You know, say for instance, you make birthday cakes, or you make cupcakes, or you make vegan something or another, share it, because people are looking to support local more than ever, particularly with COVID, particularly with, you know, for instance, hospitality. You know, I would jump on there, hospitality, because you could do maybe a click and collect or contactless something or another, or you could deliver to someone's mailbox, that kind of thing. A lot of that goes on here in Waiheke. Hot Frog is also great. That's, you know, it's in over 40 countries. And it's a very high authoritative website. And so basically what you're doing is you're piggybacking on high authority, which then gives you higher authority or more importance.
I do want to mention really quick, if anybody is interested in watching something on Neighbourly, we did interview a representative from Neighbourly. And so there is a session, if you just go to the search engine on the main dashboard on the website and just put in Neighbourly, that session will pull up. And we did a little bit of a site walkthrough so you can kind of see what it looks like. And if you need help setting up your Google My Business, just remember, we've got so many. We've got one we did with Google. We have one that we did specifically for tourism. We've got a Q&A that we did specifically for hospitality. So if that's one of your things, then just go and look up Google My Business on the website, and it'll pull up all the sessions that are related to that. And you might find one there that is specific for you.
Honestly, if you time for Google My Business, Neighbourly are two really great ones. The other one is Yelp. It's been around for a long time, since 2004. It's got a New Zealand specific site, and they have 138 million unique visitors per quarter. And they've collected 61 million reviews to date. So a really good one. But you know, if you have an e-commerce website, or you provide a digital service, this is great. And you don't have to be selling internationally for this to help you. There's Finder, which is once again a business directory, where you can get a free listing that displays your contact details, photos, description, website, social media links. If you run events, Event Finder is really good. They have a really good, a great authority on Google. And for a lot of these, if you want to go, oh, you know, is the authority great? Put them through the test, you know, and you'll see the very good ones are sitting in the sort of the 40s, the 30 to 40. That's considered really good. So, you know, very, very few are higher than that because there's just so much competition. So, you know, and I think there is a free version of Event Finder as well. Your local Chamber of Commerce, you know, a lot of business get a lot of leads through Chamber of Commerce. It's well respected. And if your business is there, is listed there, you're automatically, you know, your reputation is automatically good. Industry specific directories, you know, like plumbing, electrician, coaches, VAs, virtual assistants, tourism, particularly tourism. You know, I recommend you hop on all of these. You know, just Google tourism, you know, directories, and put your details in all of them. And social media platforms, people don't realize that a popular page or will actually help your backlinks, which then indirectly helps your SEO and your search rankings. So like I mentioned, the Google algorithm isn't really set up. So if I search plumber Auckland, it's not going to show my Facebook page, right? But the more links coming from social media to your website will then start showing your website versus showing your Facebook page. If you search by your business name, then your social media profile is very likely to come up. But what you want to come up, the first thing you want to come up is your Google My Business profile, because that can take people to your website, that can get them on your you know, the directions for GPS and all that kind of thing. Most popular ones to start with is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Twitter. LinkedIn is more really B2B, more sort of corporate, but test them. They've all got analytics. You know, there's no harm in testing. See what kind of analytics you can get out of it. If you're really putting a lot of effort into one and you're just not getting the, you know, the right amount of interest, then focus on the ones where you are. And yeah, it's got to be the right fit for your business. The key is to look for websites that are authoritative and search engines, good ranking, and also provide an option to add New Zealand specific listings. The age of the domain does have a big impact on domain authority. So if a website's been around 15 years, then it's going to automatically have a better authority. So social media, so your social media bio also counts as backlinks. Now, what I see, even some of my clients, even though I've told them not to, the main CTA in the social media, particularly Instagram, is link in bio. You know, so they will talk about something and go link in bio. Now, a lot of people use Linktree, Campsite, or LinkedIn in bio. That does nothing for your website SEO. Absolutely nothing. It does a lot for their SEO. So if you're using Linktree because you maybe want to share more social media links, because the only other way is to get over 10K followers, then you can actually share a link in your actual caption. But until you get there, that link is not clickable. You can put it there, but it's not clickable. The only link that's clickable is the one that sits in your bio, and that's the same for Facebook. So don't use Linktree or Campsite or any of these. They seem great where you can add a whole lot of content and stuff, but it's doing nothing for your website's SEO. Absolutely nothing. All it's doing is promoting these. If you really want to have a Linktree where you want to talk about other things, I can't see the reason, but if you do already have one, link it from your website out and back to your website, but don't use it in your bio. You want to build the reputation of your own website. So don't underestimate the power of your own website. And yes, don't promote third-party apps. You know, it's not in your interest. So basically by doing that, you're confusing your users. Yes, you'll be confusing your users. You want to drive traffic to your website. You want to control your content. You want to elevate your brand, and you will get a lot better analytics. So if you've got Linktree and you've got all these other, your analytics are not going to be true. So even if you've got Google Analytics linked, it's only going to show you traffic to your website. It's not going to show you that they went to Linktree and then they went to your website. It doesn't. That information will be missing. So you always direct traffic directly to your website. That's my best advice. And put your full URL and don't just put www. You want it to be clickable. Now, these are not very good resolution images because they're screenshots from my website that has built-in analytics. But you can see all of these here at the top, that it's showing you where it's coming from and how many times. So Instagram, for instance, Facebook, in Facebook, that's mobile. So 24, 20, 18, 17. So this is just since last Thursday, but it gives you a really good picture. And you should be able to get very similar information from Google Analytics. This just helps you know what you're doing out there is working, including the backlinks that you've created. Are they working? Are they not working? And then the bottom shows you where the traffic's coming from. So it's showing it's coming from, Apple, or it's coming from Android or Windows 10, Mac. That just helps you understand. Also, it also shows you that Chrome by far is the most popular browser. So it's a good one to use for your searches.
How does Google determine which website to rank them?
Okay, so this is Neil Perry, and he writes a lot of good content, and I can share that link with you in the chat. But he's going to give you a little bit of a summary of sort of what I've covered, and it's a nice sort of summary.
Do you have the ability to open up this link in a separate browser, actually? Just because I find that that it just stalls, like he's kind of stalling. So if we take the video and just put it in like a different browser, and it should play a lot better. You might need to stop your share and share.
I think that's because I was stopping it, but I'll just try it one more time.
Okay.
How does Google determine which website to rank number 1, 2?
Can you turn it up?
It's down to SEO, right? What's more in depth than that? Google has over 200 factors, and the number 1 factor that affects rankings is backlinks. Today, I'm going to teach you what backlinks are and how they work.
You hear it?
Well, the thing is when you go to share your screen, if you just want to pause that for just a sec, if you want to share, when you share your screen, you have to select optimize for video and audio quality. And so when you go, it's a bottom left, like when you go share, you select the screen and then you'll see these 2 little boxes down the bottom left.
Oh, I see.
And that'll help the sound to come through. Yeah, actually it's not stalling, which is quite cool. Because sometimes that's an issue with videos, but yeah, we just can't hear it very well.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
So
I didn't know you had a video, otherwise I would have kind of.
The other one played quite fine last time.
Yeah. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. There is there's so many probably like it's been
Google's rankings.
Is that better?
They all set backlinks.
Not really.
So with backlinks, that's one website.
I can hear it.
Website. Google's looking at it as votes. The more links that your website has, the higher you're going to rank. In addition to that, they're looking at quality. So if Huffington Post links to you, that's way more effective than if Joe the Plumber linked to you. And Google knows that it's way harder to get a link from Huffington Post than it is to get a link from Joe the Plumber. Now, another thing that they're using within their algorithm is how related is that link. So if Huffington Post links to your plumbing website, that's actually not as effective compared to Joe the Plumber linking to you. But on the flip side, if Home Depot linked to you, because it's very relevant and they're within your space. That's way more effective than if Joe the plumber linked to you. So a few things. Google's looking at how many backlinks you're getting, how many you're getting over time, because it has to be natural. They don't want you to just go pay people to link to your website because they don't like that. You shouldn't pay for links. They're looking at how related those websites are. And they're looking at something called the domain authority. That's how authoritative that website is. So assuming you're getting tons of backlinks, you're getting them from related websites, and they have high domain authority. And domain authority is from a scale of 0 to 100. 100 being like a Google.com, a YouTube, a Facebook. And it works like on a Richter scale, right? A logarithmic scale, in which it's way easier to go from 1 to 10 than it is to go from 10 to 20. So if you can get a lot of backlinks, you can get them from relevant sites, and you can get them from authoritative sites that have high domain authority, your rankings are going to climb. If you're wondering what domain authority is, like what number a certain site has, you can go to ahrefs.com, ahrefs.com, put in a URL, and they'll spit out the domain authority. It's a paid tool. A free version of this is Open Site Explorer. If you Google Open Site Explorer, it'll take you to mobs.com, and you can put in a URL, and it'll tell you that site's domain authority. Now that you know how links work in the eyes of Google, if you want to get links, the quickest way is to do roundup posts. So go and email every single expert within your space. And I've discussed this in one of my past videos. You can go into the description, click on the link, and you can get to the past videos where I talk about roundup posts. You can email these people, include them in their roundup posts. In essence, you're asking one question and you're asking that same question to every expert within the space. It's a great opportunity for them to get free press, which is why they're going to participate. And then once they all participate and give you their response, write amazing looking blog posts showcasing all of their responses, include their name, link to their website, link to their Twitter or Facebook profile, and then from there, email each of those experts once you publish the post and ask them to share it on their favorite social network. By doing this, your blog, your website is going to get more traffic. The more eyeballs that see your site, the higher probability that someone's going to link back to your site. As you get more backlinks, your rankings will also climb. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Enrique, did you hear that? Hello?
Sorry, I'm just, what I've done is I've just found the YouTube link so that everyone can have a look at Neil. So that was Neil Patel's video on backlinks. So in case you had a bit of an issue hearing that, I have dropped it in the chat on this platform, and I'm just currently dropping it in the chats on the other platforms.
So
yes.
In the presentation that I'll share with you, I have, I've got an image and a hyperlink, so anybody with the presentation will be able to just link out of the presentation, out of the PDF.
Yeah, that's no problem. Just in case people are on, we've got some folks watching on Facebook and LinkedIn and all of that, and sometimes people aren't on the website. They should be, but they're not always. So I'm just going to put it in here.
So I'll share the PDF with you after this for anybody, and everything is hyperlinked. So, wherever you're going to click on the PDF, you're going to be able to link out to the actual, the right website link.
Yeah, cool. It's been such a wonderful session. I know that we had some tech difficulties throughout, and I really appreciate you kind of persevering through that, because it's quite, it's always a bit disconcerting if you're presenting and things are happening, it's hard to concentrate. You did amazingly to manage what was happening there.
It's a bonus that I know the content, because if I didn't, it would have been a problem. But so I'll make sure they'll go through the presentation, make sure all the links are there, so that you don't have to actually copy and paste anything. You can just directly link out of the presentation. I
think we'll be able to do that. We do upload these as PDFs, so I'm not sure if that will be possible. I'll talk to Benji and I'll figure that out with you. Either way, you guys could copy paste if you have to, but you still have all of those great resources right there. But we'll do our best to add those. I'm just not sure how that works on the site.
If anybody else wants this presentation in the format that they see it in now, If you email me, my email is here, Venessa at 369 Collective. If you email me, I can actually share this version with you.
Okay, cool. That's great.
And if you've got Canva, even the free version, I can actually share it directly from Canva to your email address, and you'll be able to open it up in your Canva.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, thank you so much.
That's all right.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and chatting about this. Do we have any more sessions booked this year? I can't remember. But
I think they next. We can talk about that.
Yeah, but if you missed the last session that Venessa did, it was all about speed of your website, wasn't it? Like optimization, website optimization. We talked a lot about like what kind of website builder would work for you. It was really informative session. So you can check that out by either kind of scrolling up and looking for it if you're on one of the other platforms. But if you're on Digital Boost platform, which you should be, just type in Venessa's name and it should pop right up. So there was just a comment here, just says, I just wanted to say how great today's information was. I only knew a few insights into the importance of this topic, but now see how vital it is that I understand this for my business. Venessa, you're such an incredible font of information that presented in an easy and understandable way for non-techie as me. Yeah, cool. I'm looking forward to what all you guys are going to do with this information, because it is so valuable.
Even if you don't have a live website, you have other live links, right? And a lot of people go, oh, should I hold it with my social media? Should I hold? No, just the sooner you can get it out there, the better. And yes, if you don't have a website, have Linktree then. That's when you will use Linktree versus your website, so that at least they've got somewhere to go to look at the resources, because you've probably got your images ready, you've probably got your product descriptions ready, you've probably got all that kind of thing ready, but your website's just not quite live. Then as soon as your website goes live, get rid of that Linktree link and put your website in there. Because it's going to give you backlinks. And like you saw, I showed you the source of my traffic, and that's just from last Thursday. So, and part of the reason for that is also because the website itself has got a very solid platform, and it's sitting all in the greens. Honestly, I've never had a website launched that all sits in the greens. Never, not once. So I've got a new developer, so she's amazing. So we work a lot with women in business as well. But of course, even my women in business group on Instagram, I've got I think 7% male. So it's really for anybody. The information is relevant to any small business. Yeah,
you are such a knowledgeable source. Thank you so much for offering that free 30-minute consultation as well. I know some folks have taken advantage and actually connected with you and have found it really helpful. So we appreciate that. Cool. Such an expert. Women in business. Awesome. Yes, indeed. I think that's going to be us for today. I'll just double check. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody's questions on the bottom there. Nope, we look like we're good. We did answer the questions throughout, so that was really great. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Ka kite. There's lots of fabulous sessions this week, so do check out the schedule, and I will see you all tomorrow. See you later.
Thank you, everyone.